Good morning. Let me make sure the mic is on. How are you today? Thank you so much for joining. Again, if you're joining live, drop me a little emoji, maybe the little prayer hands. And if you are catching this on replay, go ahead and type replay. That way I know you're here. And look, to be honest, dropping the comments, liking, sharing, this helps with the Facebook algorithm feeds. So if you like what you're seeing and hearing from me, this will help get this in front of more people. So the comments and the likes and the shares really help. So thanks everyone for joining this morning. I hope you can hear me okay. I got the big headphones on today. I'm really excited. I have a new audio podcasting set coming in a few weeks that I'm really excited about. So for now, we'll have to make do with this, but hopefully it's working all right today. So today I wanted to take us through a really deep connecting grounding practice because, as I said in the post, I think with everything going on in the world, the pandemic, the racial awareness that we're all being called to, hey Maureen, good morning, that it can feel sometimes like we are just untethered. Some visuals I like to use is sometimes it's like we're a duck on water with our feet really going fast underneath, and maybe we look like we're going smooth along the surface, or maybe we don't even feel like we're going smooth along the surface, and we just feel like we have been launched into orbit and we can't find our footing. So, however you're finding yourself today, in this moment, let this practice bring you back into a sense of connection with the earth, with yourself, with the people around you, and the world around you. So go ahead, if you haven't already, and start to find a position where you're not going to be disturbed today, where you can sit comfortably and with some dignity and ease, or maybe lying down or even standing. And we'll go ahead and get started. Being really intentional this morning about the posture. Again, if you're sitting down, noticing where you're sitting, noticing the points of contact that your body has with the surface that you're sitting on. And if you're lying down, noticing again how the body has contact with the surface. Now that surface is just supporting the body. And if you're standing, starting to sense into the connection that the feet have with the ground that you're standing on, that surface. And we're going to take some intentional time here this morning to really come into this posture and allow us to establish that connection. So let's begin by bringing awareness to how we're sitting or standing or lying in our posture today. And if you're sitting, trying to sense the connection and really feel into that connection of your sits bones with the surface that you're sitting on. And maybe it helps sometimes to clear away the fleshy parts. And we all have those fleshy parts. We like those fleshy parts. But just gently move those fleshy parts so you can really feel the contact of the sits bones with the surface that you're on. And maybe your back is having contact with the back of the chair or a wall or some other surface. And drawing the spine up from the pelvic floor all the way up through the core, through the neck, through the top of the head. And really feeling the sense of support that that spine gives you. And with your head and neck, just seeing if you can keep the chin parallel to the floor, maybe tucked in just slightly to allow some lengthening in the back of the spine. And if you're lying down, it may help to have a pillow or a bolster under the knees so that you can provide your lower back some support. And maybe sensing that slight space between the lower back and the floor. Noticing how the whole body is resting on the floor, feeling those points of contact. And if you're standing, maybe allowing the knees to be soft so that they're not locked. Maybe curling up your toes for a moment and then allowing them one by one, starting with the small toe, to touch down onto the earth, that surface that you're on, so you can really start to feel that connection. And now, if you haven't already, closing down your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Otherwise, you can leave your eyes open and maybe just cast the gaze softly down toward the floor or the ground. And we're going to begin today by taking some long, deep inhales and exhales together to allow us to really start to drop into whatever posture you've chosen today. So begin by taking an inhale through the nose, noticing the breath come into the nose, feeling the rise of the belly, the chest, and then exhaling slowly and gently through the mouth, noticing how the abdomen and chest come back in, contract in to squeeze out that air. And again, inhaling through the nose, taking a deeper breath, allowing that breath to be pulled all the way into the belly, into the chest. And then exhaling slowly through the mouth, maybe letting out a little sigh, just to allow and invite some of that tension to begin to release. And one more time, inhaling through the nose, your deepest, deepest breath yet today, filling up all the belly and the chest. And then exhaling, letting out a sigh. And now allowing the breath to just return to however it is for you today. Don't try to control the breath or force it in any way. Allowing the body to just breathe itself. And we're really going to start to sense in to our connection with the body, because this is our connection to the present moment, to the world around us. So bringing the awareness to the breath, just noticing the gentle inflow and outflow of the breath. Maybe the breath is very shallow for you today. Maybe it's a little deeper. Just letting the breath be however it wants to be right now. And resting the awareness gently in the background on that breath, maybe about 80%. And bringing the rest of your awareness to the sensations in the body today. And just letting that breath gently flow in the background. And starting to scan gently down through the body, inviting the breath into all the corners of the body, feeling that breath permeate every cell in the body as it moves in and out. starting with the top of the head and maybe noticing if there's any tension or tightness or furrowing of the brow. And just gently going from the top of the head down through the body, seeing where you can find some more space in the body. And for any areas where you're noticing there's a little more tension or tightness, just acknowledging them, saying, I see you. I know you're here with me today. And seeing if the breath can invite a little softening to those areas. And then just gently move the awareness throughout the rest of the body. Allowing the breath to flow to every cell, every corner, every fingertip and the tip of your toes. And as you're moving the awareness down through the body, imagining the body just sort of hanging on the skeleton, on that skeletal frame that supports you, almost like a coat hanger. And how you drape the coat on the hanger, and the hanger supports it, and it just hangs there. So if you can invite the body to just hang on the skeleton right now, feel that support of your skeletal system. And finishing scanning through the body and bringing the awareness back to the breath. And we're going to deepen the awareness on the breath now. Lengthening that inhale just a bit. And on the inhale, if it's comfortable and available to you, bringing the shoulders up toward the ears. And on the exhale, rolling them back and releasing them, opening up the chest a little bit. Feeling that chest wanting to receive that breath. And if your chest feels tight or constricted, or if you're struggling with your breath at all today for any reason, just allow the breath to be how it is. Don't worry about trying to bring those deeper breaths in. Just allow the breath to be there for yourself today. And we're going to use the flow and energy of this breath to allow us to sense into that connection with whatever surface you're resting on right now. So on the inhale, just listen to my voice for a minute and then we'll practice together. On the inhale, imagining the breath coming all the way in through the nose, filling the top of the head and flowing all the way down the body to the bottoms of the feet and out the tips of the toes into the surface where you are connected. And then on the exhale, imagining drawing that breath in from that surface up through the bottoms of your feet, through your legs, your pelvis, your torso, your shoulders, your neck, your head, and out the mouth. So visualizing that connection of bringing the breath in, allowing it to ground you to the surface, and exhaling and drawing that breath up from the surface, up through the body and out. So let's practice that a few times together. And again, I invite you not to strain with the breath. This is a visualization. So, however deep or shallow your breath is today, imagining that flow through the body without straining the breath. So, let's begin. Inhaling through the nose, feeling that breath flow up into the head, down into the throat, the torso, the pelvis, imagining it flowing down through the legs to the feet, and then exhaling, drawing that breath, that connection up from the surface through the legs, the torso, the chest, the neck, and gently out the mouth. Again, inhaling, drawing in that breath of life all the way, imagining it flowing through the body, shooting out the bottoms of your toes, down into the surface, and exhaling and drawing it back up through the toes and the feet and the legs, the upper part of the body, and gently out the mouth. And one more time, inhaling through the nose, feeling that breath flow every corner of the body, down through the body, out the bottoms of the feet, into the ground, and then drawing up from the ground the energy of that surface into the body, and exhaling through the mouth. And gently letting the breath return back to its normal cadence for you, its normal rhythm, and still connecting to that flow, that inflow through the body, imagining it grounding you into the surface, and then exhaling, pulling it up from the surface through the body. And you can imagine that no matter how the breath is for you today. This breath is our connection to ourselves, to our body, which is the connection to the present moment, because our bodies bring us back into the present moment. When we're resting awareness on the breath, we're resting in the present moment. And that breath of life that we breathe in, it feeds the world. It gives life to all beings, all creatures, all plants, and all humans. And we give and receive that breath, that connection. So imagining that connection of that flow of energy through the body that you're receiving from the rest of the world, that the rest of the world has shared this breath of life with you, and then you're giving it back and you're returning that life back into the world. This breath connects all of us. And what's amazing about this breath, and how I know it connects all of us, is there's an element in the air called argon. And argon doesn't react with other elements in the air. It stays stable. So the same argon elements that are here today have been here for centuries. They don't go away. They don't change or disappear. Those argon elements have been in the air and in our breath for centuries. So when you breathe in, and you're breathing in the argon that's been here since the dawn of time, you are actually breathing in the breath of your ancestors. You are breathing in the breath of Jesus, of Buddha, of Gandhi, of Martin Luther King, of your friends, of your family, And today, when we are faced with a crisis of our breath, when we are faced with a pandemic that wants to take that breath away from us, we can connect to the fact that that breath is always, always there and shared by all of us. It continues to give and receive. So when we can sense into that connection with the breath, we can sense into the fact that we are sharing that breath of life with everyone around us. And when we bring that energy of the breath into the body, we can sense into that then connection with the body to the earth. Because even if you're standing or sitting or lying down in your house right now, your house, the foundation, the boards, the concrete, all of it is connected into the earth. And again, that earth spreads out and connects all human beings, all living creatures, all plants and mountains and other people's houses together. So no matter where you are connected to the surface right now, feeling the energy of that connection all the way down into the earth that we all share, no matter where we are. So that connection of the breath to the body, to the physical surface and ground where you are. Trust and know that that is always there for you. Even in the moments of a pandemic, when we are concerned about our lives and the lives of those around us, knowing that there are people who are struggling to connect to that breath of life, you can trust in that connection. No matter how shallow the breath is, no matter how fast-paced it is, you can sense into that connection and ground yourself to the earth beneath you. When you're faced with panic or fear, if you are a person of color who's faced with the anxiety and the stress and the fear of having to live in a world that constantly is coming at you and coming at you, trust and know that you can connect into that breath that we are all sharing. Connect into the ground beneath you, knowing that you are part of this earth. So whatever is coming up for you in the moment, trusting that connection with the breath and to the earth beneath you. And gently now, bringing the awareness fully back to the breath. And maybe lengthening the inhale and exhale just a bit to bring some awareness fully back into the body. And again, trusting and knowing that when you leave this meditation today, your breath is still with you. And with every step, every time you take a seat, every time you lie down, you are connecting to that ground beneath you. And that breath and that ground connects all of us to each other. So giving yourself just a little stretch now if it's available to you and comfortable. And slowly blinking your eyes open if they've been closed and sensing the light coming into the room where you are. And maybe allowing yourself a few moments after this practice to just absorb it and receive it and carry it into the rest of your day. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. And I hope that you continue to stay safe and well. Thank you.